The following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries.
Thank you for listening to UBM Praise.
Okay, ladies, do any of y'all want to hang with Sir Walter Jones on Today?
Yeah!
No, not at all. We don't want you. Please don't come. No, I'm just joking. You can come along.
Hey, this is John Hanna, and you're listening to the Sir Walter Jones Show.
Let's go. Sir Walter Jones. Who is it? Sir Walter Jones. What's his name? Sir Walter Jones. Whose show is this? Sir Walter Jones. Who is it? Sir Walter Jones. Say it again. Sir Walter Jones. Who you with? Sir Walter Jones. One more again. Sir Walter Jones.
The Sir Walter Jones Show with co-host Alvin Carter. We are a Christian talk show in which we tackle all the hot topics in the believer's walk. It's Fireside Friday. Grab a cup of coffee, sit back, relax, and be encouraged in the Lord.
Friday. We're going to start discussing men's brains, women's brains, and how they're very different from each other. Now, I want to start with men's brains. All right, now men's brains are very unique. Men's brains are made up of little boxes. And we have a box for everything. We've got a box for the car. We've got a box for the money. We've got a box for the job. We've got a box for you. We've got a box for the kids. We've got a box for your mother somewhere in the basement. We got boxes everywhere. And the rule is the boxes don't touch. When a man discusses a particular subject, we go to that particular box, we pull that box out, we open the box, we discuss only what is in that box. All right? And then we close the box and put it away, being very, very careful not to touch any other boxes. Now, women's brains are very, very different from men's brains. Women's brains are made up of a big ball of wire. And everything is connected to everything. The money's connected to the car, and the car's connected to your job, and your kids are connected to your mother, and everything's connected to everything. It's just like... It's like the internet superhighway, okay? And it's all driven by energy that we call emotion. It's just... It's one of the reasons why women tend to remember everything. Because if you take an event and you connect it to an emotion, it burns in your memory and you can remember it forever. The same thing happens for men. It just doesn't happen very often because, quite frankly, we don't care. Women tend to care about everything. And she just loves it. Okay? Now, men, we have a box in our brain that most women are not aware of. This particular box has nothing in it. It's true. It's true. In fact, we call it the nothing box. And of all the boxes a man has in his brain, the nothing box is our favorite box. If a man has a chance, he'll go to his nothing box every time. That's why a man can do something seemingly completely brain dead for hours on end. You know, like fishing. Now, they've actually measured this. The University of Pennsylvania a couple of years ago did a study and discovered that men have the ability to think about absolutely nothing and still breathe. You know, they connected all the wires and stuff like that and watched the brain activity, then all of a sudden, I think he's dead. Huh? You know, women can't do it. They can't do it. Their minds never stop. And they don't understand the nothing box. And it drives them crazy. Because nothing drives a woman more crazy or makes her feel more irritated than to witness a man doing nothing.
Everybody, So Walter Jones on the So Walter Jones Show. I am Heath. Man, it is Friday. Yeah, this is a show about nothing. Seinfeld is one of my favorite TV shows of all time.
Mine too.
Yeah, I mean, it is an amazing concept about just these...
A guy's life, a comedy writer's life.
Yeah, and that one girlfriend. The girl, you know, not...
She's their friend, and then one of theirs girlfriend who decided she was better off as the friend.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know all about that stuff,
come on,
man.
Come on. He, you know, Seinfeld and her decided, Elaine, they decided to date and slept together, and they realized this is nasty. So they became great friends, you know. And then you got Kramer, you know, and then...
kind of remind you of Art.
Yeah, it kind of remind you of Art.
But I'm not George.
No, you're not. No, you're not George. You got hair, by the way. And it's a great concept, man. And I just wanted to kind of pull that in on today's show because that's what today is all about. And y'all probably say, y'all, you're not going to talk about nothing. No, we're going to talk about everything.
That's what that show talked about.
That's the whole concept.
That show covered everything.
Everything, absolutely.
Friendship, relationships.
Yeah, the good, the bad,
it
and
made
the ugly.
The serious funny.
Yeah.
And the funny serious.
Sure did. What do you think? What's your favorite episode?
When they saw their friend's baby. I can't think of the name.
Oh.
And when they put lobster in the eggs. Yeah. Shrinkage.
That's it. No, it's shrinkage.
And when Kramer saw that baby,
yeah,
and how they would not say how ugly the baby was.
Yeah, the baby, yeah.
Kramer has no filter.
No filter, absolutely. I think two of mine's favorite is the Bubble Boy, of course. The boy had to stay in the bubble. And, the Bubble Boy, and I think the next one was. They had a contest about who would
last the longest without sex. The abstinence show. Yeah, that was a good one.
That was
my other favorite one was when George had wanted to impress this girl's family, and he took the bread back. And he tried to put the bread back in the house. And Kramer was he was driving a horse and carriage to earn some extra money and fed the horse some meat.
Yeah. And the meat. And the parents were behind the horse.
Yes, in the carriage.
And it had gas. Yeah, great show. And, you know, we just, the writing is amazing. And I'm segueing.
Larry David.
Yeah, Larry David. Yeah, and then, of course, he had his own show called, it was on HBO, I think it was.
Yes, it was HBO show.
Yeah, y'all had me on Facebook. And the reason why I'm bringing this up because I'm segueing into a book that I just discovered from an old friend of mine who's here on the show, actually. It's called I the Son, and it is definitely like Seinfeld. Yeah, if you go through the pages, you start reading, you remember the story in the New Testament about a man that was on a carriage. He was reading from the book of Isaiah, and then the apostle walked up to him and said, "What are you reading?" And he says, I don't know. He says, "I'm reading Isaiah." He says, "But I don't know if this is talking about himself, or is he talking about someone else?" And he's talking about Christ. And the apostle came in, got up on the carriage, and began to preach to him the gospel of Jesus Christ. Well, when you read this book, you often wonder, who was he talking about? Who was the author talking about?
Yeah,
he's talking about himself. Talking about somebody else. And I think it's wonderful writing.
I get your point now.
You see, yeah.
Was in reading. I mean, we teach that in reading, not author's purpose. It's a skill. When it's a writing skill where you first person perspective, point of view.
Absolutely, that's good.
And which point of view is the author writing from?
That's good, because if you read
first
the
person,
book,
third person, remove third person.
Yes, sir. If you take three people and all three of them read the book, they probably will come out with three different concepts or perceptions of the book, or the comprehension of the book, which means it's not a right or wrong answer. It's your perception,
unless you can defend it.
Yeah,
you have to
good.
be able to defend it.
That's good. That's good stuff. Oh yeah. So we're gonna stop talking around him like you're not in the room.
Thank
you. Because
at least we ain't insulted you yet.
Not yet, but it's coming. It's on the way.
I could have called it.
He said I could have called it.
No, you got cheap phone.
Yeah, you got right. We've been through this before with this brother. This book says, well, I like the liner note. It says, I the Son is a collection pieces of one person's experience. The human experience, broken into chapters and told through poems and song lyrics, short stories, and slices of life. The snapshots of experiences put to words and expressed honestly, artistically, and at times painfully. And you'll see a lot of that in here. From a trip to the South, as seen through the eyes of a 6-year-old, to an angry, heartfelt plea to the community and the country. This work will challenge, inspire, and encourage you. It is a triumph journey of the human spirit through adversity, and demonstrates in the most poetic language the peace of God that surpasses all understanding. I have here my great friend, longtime friend, Daryl Smith. How you doing, brother?
Man, I am great.
Good.
I'm great, and I'm glad to be
here. You look good. You look really good. I remember when you was fat.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong.
Hey, pick a struggle. Hey, pull that mic closer to your mouth.
Now that I'm a starving writer,
I've
lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, man. You and I go way back to the 90s when we had a jazz gospel group called the Renaissance.
The
Renaissance.
Christian Renaissance.
We had to make that distinction. I'm sorry. It's Christian Renaissance. You were on tenor. Well, you played tenor sax and soprano sax.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I was on keys, and Andre Hayton was on bass guitar. Did we ever bring in what's her name? Who sang? His church over there. That's matter of fact. Shout out to Pastor over there, Anderson, in Chicago Heights. Their church is out there in Chicago Heights. What was it called? Chicago
Miracle Temple.
Miracle Temple. There it
Miracle
is.
Temple.
Thank you. Joy. That's her name. She was the choir director over there. I thought she sang with us. I'm not sure.
She may have, but we
had so many. Joy Walker. Right. Yeah, that's her name.
Remember Pete, the drummer?
Pete. Oh, absolutely, Pete. Yeah, I bet you know Pete Al. Now you come from. I actually met you. You were a member of. What is it?
First Christian Assembly.
No. Wait, was you a member of First Christian Assembly when I met you?
First Christian Assembly. At some
right.
point.
That's right. You were.
I think I was.
Smith, the drummer, is over there. His name's Smith
right,
too.
Michael Smith. Bunch of cats.
Right. But then you went over to Meeks.
Right.
Okay, and that's when you started. You started inviting me to what's called the Seeker Services.
Right.
Okay, help us out with that concept. Bring that. Turn him up, matter of fact.
Well, this was real cool because back in the day, 10, 15 years ago,
okay,
there weren't any real big youth ministries in Chicago in the urban area. Now you had Willow Creek doing what they doing because they can have a whole staff of people to program them, and there was a book that came out called Seekers or Seeker Services.
Right.
And so we went out there, Reverend Carey and Reverend Comer, who's now in Champaign, and they took the concept of outreaching to kids who are not going to come into church.
Yeah.
You invite them, you do what you need, but they're not going to come into church. So what we used to do was we used to outfit the gym room attached to the church, and we hung lights, the party lights, smoke machines. I was the music director, and we'd have the band coming in, and I'd have the talk box. Welcome to the jam session.
It was a jam.
And the kids would go out, and they would go to their schools, and they would put out pluckers on the table, living in the cafeteria, saying, welcome to come check out another Fat Jam, which is PHAT. We ain't tell him it meant praising him all the time. And jam meant Jesus and me. And it was hilarious. We would set up in the gym, and the kids would take a cab there, and they have their little hoochie clothes on. And by the end of the different ministries, rap and dance and stuff like that, because it was this big party, wasn't no chairs and stuff like that. And then somebody would come out and give a little, Reverend Carey.
That's right.
Come out like a thug or dressed in character. And do this.
I would love to see Harvey dressed like that.
Man, do this 5-minute sermonette, 10-minute sermonette, man.
He's a master of that.
And the altar would be filled.
Yeah.
And
I was there. We did it once a month.
Once a month.
Yeah, on a Saturday. It was a great concept. I enjoyed the band. I mean, we was killing it.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. So today is Fireside Friday, and what we do is we talk about current events, and we tie it into whatever you're doing. Okay, I watch the news, and this first half hour, let's talk about the news that we're having this week. Okay, see if you can join in on this.
Of course.
All right. Well, I watch the news that says the top stolen vehicles in Illinois. All right, top 4.
Link cards. I mean, venture cards.
Venture cards, not cards. Cars.
Automobile.
Venture card. That's the card you use to get on the bus. That's a vehicle.
Oh, yeah, that is a vehicle. Yeah,
makes a good point.
It does make that. Yeah. Welcome to the life of Alvin C. Carter. Okay, this is the National Insurance Crime Bureau. Okay, the number 4 car. Stolen car is a 1997 Honda Accord.
A 97?
97 Honda Accord.
Really?
Sure, absolutely. Number 3 is a 2000 Honda Civic. Okay, those of you who get Hondas out there, put the what's that name that you click on
the wheel lock.
Yeah. What they call it?
The club.
Put the club. Put the club on that.
They still make
them. Yeah, they still make it. I saw them right outside.
Really? I saw a guy still a car with a club on it.
Right, they just take the steering wheel off.
No, they don't cut the steering. They just cut the steering wheel.
They cut the
tilt it a little bit and slide it on off.
They slide it on off and put it right there on the ground for you to come outside and say, "Wow, well, at least I got my club."
I seen them do that with the boot too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right in front of my house, they did it. I said, okay.
I learned the secret about that boot.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You gonna tell the secret because the FBI they are listening.
Don't we feel good though when somebody gets a boot off?
Yeah. I've had 4 boots.
I cheer.
I'm telling you,
if somebody gets 4. A boot off, you're my hero.
Yeah.
You mean you came out and they had one on each tie? You had 4 boots. It's like, I don't care if you do pay for this and you got 3 more. That's a lot of tickets, bro. 4 boots.
Nah, get this off.
Right. That's hilarious. Number 2, 1999 Chevy pickup. 99 Chevy pickup. And number 1 stolen car is a 2000 Dodge Caravan.
The Caravans are always. They stole mine. And it wasn't even 2000.
Wow. Yeah.
For it's the sliding door, not just the parts. It's an excellent engine. They do drive-bys in them.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it is convenient.
No, the slide door, and then it's got a fast engine. It's very mobile. You ever drove the Caravan, man?
Yeah. Oh, I have.
Man, them jokers, they got heat.
Yeah, the newer ones are tight with the swivel back seat.
It don't, see, I ain't talking about the luxury. That engine got power.
Hey, listen, but
them soccer moms don't be late for nothing.
Yeah, but if you're doing a drive-by, you can swing the door open and swivel in the chair.
Yeah, no, exactly. Or either that bench. That's exactly what it's for.
There you go.
They stole that. They found it to be a very convenient vehicle. It's easy to steal.
I see now.
And they take it because they stole mine. I called her Punchy. She had punch. When you hit the gas pedal,
bam.
Punch.
Yeah. Wow.
Who would have thought the soccer van?
They stole
the soccer mom's van. Yeah.
Stole my Punchy.
Well, in other news, Chicago has the 3rd largest security network in the world, just behind Beijing and London. That means all these cameras you see on the streets, we are the 3rd largest in the world. Despite that, security cameras in violent neighborhoods has not decreased the amount of crimes.
No, because they put them in the wrong places. They're not used for security. They're used for tickets.
Right.
Yeah. We'll take it.
They red light camera.
Well, not just that, but you get the police.
That's
those. Yeah, they just blink in those crime neighborhoods.
Now they watch them. They watching the red light camera.
Yeah,
ain't no money in watching crime.
Right. And if you got a big old blinking light, let's do it where the light ain't.
Give me some light.
Look at me.
You're stupid. Well, another news: Donald Trump has pledged his loyalty to the Republican Party. Yes, he did. He signed the pledge. He did. That he will not go independent. And Ben Carson is surging in Iowa neck to neck with Trump.
Go, Ben, go.
Yeah, go, Ben, go. Yeah. What do you think about Ben Carson?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
I mean, I think he's probably an excellent surgeon.
Sure.
But, as far as political background, he has no political background.
Neither did Barack.
And no, that's not true.
Yeah.
He was a senator from Illinois. And
he was still a novice.
He did something.
He did something.
Do you know how much politicking you got to do to make it in the medical field?
And isn't he a Harvard law professor?
Sure, absolutely. He's an expert.
So he has some background on the law and legal stuff.
And he was the first.
Doctors have to have backgrounds on law because they have to know what's legal and what's illegal.
No, they have a lawyer.
But they still need to know. They still need to know what they have to do when it comes to patient.
It's political.
It's political.
I mean, just like
the medical field is very political.
Or so is the church.
Yeah. Oh God, yes.
Yeah,
that's why they make the best politicians.
That's right. They are.
It's hard to tell the difference between a pimp, a politician, and a preacher.
Okay. Yep. Not going there. Next news. New England Patriots.
Considering how you dressed, I'll see you.
Yes, sir. Come on. I don't have my Koji cross.
Shiny suit though.
Yes, sir. I don't play. Oh, he touching me. He touched me. Touch me not.
Hey, man, he's so sharp he going to bleed.
No, right?
Tom Brady, that 4-game suspension. Yeah, he's been lifted by the judge.
Man.
Okay, what do you think about that?
And they still going to win the Super Bowl.
They're still going to win.
Yeah, he done balled it already. Come on, man. Hold on. He cheats and he get caught.
Yeah. He cheats and he gets caught.
And he says, I'm not guilty. They say, okay, you're not guilty.
Right.
Yeah.
Pete Rose didn't do nothing really but bet that he would win.
Yep, sure did.
What man won't bet on himself?
Yeah.
He banned for life.
For life. Yeah.
Little kids ain't got no control over when they play. They just want to play and win.
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson West. They banned. Can't play.
Yeah, that shouldn't have happened.
That's amazing.
They should have took the politics out of it.
That boy deflated the balls.
Yes.
Now, did he deflate the ball? Actually, I can't see him on the sidelines deflating.
No,
the
I don't
ball.
see that either. I mean, he got
somebody to do it.
He paid somebody, like OJ. Yeah. In other news,
OJ is innocent. OJ didn't do it.
Nope, no, OJ didn't, but he paid somebody. Next, in other news,
he was broke out.
OJ. Oh, y'all know OJ did that.
No, he did not, man. It was impossible.
It's been, what, 10, 15 years?
Yeah,
it's impossible. He could not have done it.
We done said he did it with his own hands.
OJ was
That's
mad.
like saying you got somebody else pregnant with
a
my
white woman.
You stupid. Well, in other news, Clerk Kim Davis from Rowan County, Kentucky, refuses to issue marriage licenses for the gay couples. She's now in jail after being found in contempt of court. But they're saying that she's saying, and her lawyer says, those papers are null and void because there's no signatures on the licenses. So you're really not married still. What do you think her stand is? Do you think she should have rejected to issue these licenses?
I think she legally has a right.
Mm-hmm. Legally?
I think she legally has a right to exercise her beliefs.
Okay. I see what you're saying. You think there's a loophole there?
Yes, there's a loophole. Okay. Number one. Number two, they could have went to a notary public and got those same papers and those same credentials certified or verified. They didn't have to go through her.
Okay.
So it's a matter of principle and forcing someone to go against their convictions just because you want to be accepted. Now, what she should have done was say, I can't do it. Do you have a problem doing this? Because I won't. And getting an assistant in the office to do it. Because what happens when she's off work that day?
Well, legally, she has to do it. It has to be her signature. So what she's trying to do is tell the governor to remove her signature from the paperwork. Okay, they can't do it by law. They have to get the legislatives.
It has to be voted.
The legislative to change the document. Absolutely, yeah. She says if you remove my name, then I'll come back to work. But they can't fire her. She has to resign.
And she won't resign.
She won't resign.
She
What's your thought on that?
She's actually in jail.
Yeah, she's in jail.
She's in jail. And
she'll be there for 18 months if she keeps fighting.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
look closer.
And I don't have a you want to fight for your rights, whatever that may be. That's fine. This is America.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, it looks to me a little bit like some staging. They knew in advance that she was not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Come on,
we'll set up.
And now the media is there this morning, and the same couple walks up, and they get the license, and everybody's cheering and stuff like that. It's my opinion that she has a right under the law to her conscience.
Sure.
And we had this debate on Facebook.
Yeah.
One of my friends on Facebook put it on Facebook about she should have just signed it, and she has a legal obligation, and uses scripture in Romans that talk about authority and us to obey authority. And so I shot it back at scripture. Acts 5:9 that said that we are to obey God. In other words, when you look at the two scriptures, you got to take stuff in context. We are to serve God, or we are to obey the law of the land until it becomes something that's superseding or against the law of God. And so I applaud her for standing up and saying, I'm not doing this. And, that's what we all should do. And we got to be careful what we say. She should have did this, because there's a line for all of us. And it's going to come a time when all of us are probably going to have to make some type of choice, because, man, listen, these people are for real. They're going to keep going until every aspect of American life is accepting and doing what they feel like should be done.
Yeah.
And we have just as much a right to, feel like we feel. I don't think anybody should disrespect anybody.
Sure.
Or along those lines. I love everybody. I don't have a problem with anybody, but I can love you and still not agree with you.
That's true.
And you're kind of telling me that, no, that's not you. You have to accept what I am and what I do. And I don't think that's right.
Yeah. And that's true. I applaud her courage to stay in jail and say, I don't want my name on it. I really do. And then what they did is they went back into her past and found all kind of dirt.
Of course they're going to do that.
And
that's the blessing of it. She
is.
knew what she was and what she is now.
Right. Yeah.
I ain't going back there.
Yeah.
I've been too good to me.
Yeah. Let's see. Rochelle Matheny on here saying hours ago a federal judge jailed Kentucky clerk Kim Davis in an act of judicial tyranny. Judge David Vernon wants to force her to abandon her Christian principles and personally participate in validating same-sex marriages by putting her name on the license. Federal law says that the government must provide a reasonable accommodation for people with deeply held religious beliefs. But this rough judge is determined to make Kim pay for standing up. Yeah, rogue. Sorry. Well, rough too. Yeah.
Hey, listen to the language, though. Judicial tyranny?
Yeah.
Really?
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's a little over the top, ain't it?
Of course it is. And that's the whole point.
Yeah, I think
they are so over the top.
Yeah. They are over the top.
I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah.
So place I go.
Yeah, because he will go. Although this is Friday, you can pretty much go wherever you want to.
Over the top just to get in the bottom.
I let him see. When you let him, you give him enough
you ask
rope.
for it.
I ain't touching that.
Yeah.
Don't, because it's nasty.
I will get to this break here so we can start touching this subject here.
Yes.
Because what I want you to do, Alvin, I want you to find Proverbs 23, chapter 1. Okay? Find the NLT if you can. Because I think you're crazy, Alvin. I think you're crazy.
You don't think very well.
I know you are. I know you're crazy. Hey, gas drops for Labor Day, lowest since 2004. Yep. Chicago, $2.92. Hallelujah. Yeah, Indiana, trust me, is much lower. We'll go to this break, y'all. We're going to hear some Ray Charles. I got something on my mind. He got Georgia on his mind. My shout out to my son, Walter Jr., Atlanta, Georgia. On my mind.
He need to be here this
should.
weekend. He don't need to be down there this
No,
weekend.
he don't.
Humble yourself.
So Walter Jones, show.
I had to go before destruction.
You want to go with me to NBC?
Yeah,
I think we really got something here.
What do we got?
An idea.
What idea?
An idea for the show.
I still don't know what the idea is.
It's about nothing.
Right.
Everybody's doing something. We'll do nothing.
So we go into NBC, we tell them we got an idea for a show about nothing.
Exactly.
They say, what's your show about? I say nothing.
There you go.
I think you may have something here.
Whatever mistakes I made, I paid for them and then some. That hotel, that boat, I don't think that's too much to ask.
I don't think you ought to be doing this to yourself, Andy. This is just pipe dreams. I mean, Mexico is way the hell down there, and you're in here, and that's the way it is.
Yeah, right. That's the way it is. It's down there, and I'm in here. I guess it comes down to a simple choice, really. Get busy living, or get busy dying.
Get busy living, or get busy dying. That's goddamn right.
Georgia, Georgia, the whole day through, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Georgia on my mind. I said, Georgia, Georgia, a song of you comes as sweet and clear as moonlight through the pines. Other arms reach out to me, other eyes smile tenderly. Still in the peaceful dreams I see, the road leads back to you. I said, Georgia, oh, Georgia, no peace I find, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Georgia on my mind. Other arms reach out to me, other eyes smile tenderly. Still in peaceful dreams I see, the road leads back to you. Whoa, Georgia, Georgia, no peace I find, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. I said just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.
Georgia on My Mind. It's a song. It's a song by Hoagie Carmichael, actually, and Stuart Gorell, closely associated with the cover song by Ray Charles, a native of Georgia, who recorded it in 1960, actually, from the Genius Hits the Road. It became the official state song of 1979. But many of you don't know, that song was written in 1930.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's an oldie.
And do you know I had the pleasure of seeing him when I was in college?
Who? Ray?
Ray Charles live.
He saw you?
No, I don't think he saw me.
Yeah. I actually performed with him.
Did you?
At Cookman College.
You always trying to
upstage somebody. It's my show.
I said I saw him when I performed with him.
I sure did. He was the band leader for the marching band down there at Bethune-Cookman College, and I was playing horn, and he was fussing.
Oh, you was in the last row, man. I might have been closer to you.
Yeah, 1986. So you was next to me? Yeah.
No, he said he was closer to him than you were because you was in the back row.
Right, I had box seats.
Oh, right, you were. Oh, you silly. We were in Tampa. Our rival was what's the band that they hazed the boy and he died. And Florida A&M.
Was it A&M?
Yeah.
But you know what? It was scary, man, because the whole concert, I was on the edge of my seat because Ray sits on the corner of the seat and moves, and the other three legs be off the ground.
Wow,
wow. Like, Ray, stop. You know, you're blind. Nobody wants to see a blind man fall.
That's true. We don't want to see that.
Because we love you. Man.
We do. But if you notice, I played the Shawshank Redemption.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it's funny. Because they don't know where to put their hands to brace the fall.
They don't know.
Oh, dude.
Just hold on to the wind.
That's wrong.
That is wrong, man.
So many levels.
And so many. We played the Shawshank Redemption. Yeah, that's the problem. I'm gonna say this one more time. We played the Shawshank Redemption file, okay? And the one about get busy
living or get busy dying.
Or get busy dying.
That
okay,
is a profound.
Which is an amazing line in the whole movie. Okay, which kind of, and I think every movie had that one line.
That movie had several, but that was
the line.
Oh my God! Just that line itself.
Yeah.
Because why must you be so obtuse?
Yeah. So, wow, that's good. Yeah. And the reason why I played that file is because of this book here, I the Sun. If you go to I the Sun page, you'll see how it starts off saying, "My name is what? What's it say?"
It says, "I am the son of John Carter." And
nobody
gives a
D.
Right. and I say it.
Yeah, and that whole paragraph though is great. And I'm gonna go there in a minute because I wanted to segue into that because you'll see throughout my breaks how we keep reflecting and doing flashbacks to the concept of your book. But you said something very profound, Alvin, which is very unusual to have a profound moment from you. When Andy, that's his name, Andy, right?
Andy Dufresne.
Andy Dufresne took that little
hammer. Gavel. Yeah, the gavel.
Took the gavel, and he was scraping at his wall for years, methodically, and he would capture the dust. It was hard first in his hand, and he would put it in his pocket.
He'd reduce it to rubbish. And create a pile in the yard.
Yeah.
A rubbish pile.
A rubbish pile. And you said, what crumbles in your pocket,
what others see as dust, is actually your escape. No, it's the way to your escape.
It's the way to your escape.
It's the fare to your freedom. It's the way to your escape.
It's the way to your escape. And I think it's so beautiful. That movie, I can watch it every day and still find
something new. Something
I said,
he refused
I never
to
saw
be a prisoner amidst the abuse. He found a way to rise above it.
Yeah.
Because he never gave up. I mean, the tale of tenacity in that film. You got to see it if you've never watched it.
You haven't watched it. And that's Stephen King.
Yeah. And you know what? The way that you get through adversity is by, we were all running a race. It's not given to the swift or the strong. It's given to those that endurance to the end. And runners, a long distance runner, focus on the finish line and not on the obstacles.
Wow.
See, the finish line for him was, although he was getting his butt kicked and all this crazy stuff incarcerated, I got a hole that I'm digging. And one day I'm going to be free.
Woo!
Tonight I'm going to be that much closer.
Lord have
and
mercy.
even when they put him in the hole, Right. He never forgot about the whole of his own.
That's right. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, you put me in this one, but I got my own. Just wait and see.
Wow. And then the sisters.
And everything he did methodically.
Yeah.
From getting the library, convincing them to let the men work and giving them being pleasure.
Yeah.
Befriending the right people.
Yeah.
Asking for the right size posters as his holes got bigger. He needed bigger posters to cover them. But he never slept.
But check this out. In building a library, he was still working on his freedom, but he was occupying the time and his purpose, the gifts that he had in him.
So he would not lose who he was. And then they found out he was a banker.
And they found out he was a banker.
And then what did he do? He robbed a thief.
He robbed a thief.
Set him up.
Woo! Robbed a thief. Stole my life. I'm stealing yours.
Stole his identity, Doc. Man, that's
He created a whole new one.
Yeah. Who does a sermon on Shawshank Redemption but us? Hey, let's go to Proverbs 23. Yeah, man, right, yes, sir. Man, we be preaching that one. Everybody now who listen to us, once they gonna say, the Lord just dropped this in my spirit.
Yeah,
right. And downloaded this. Stop lying. You stole from a Sir Walter Jones show.
And then copyrighted.
Yeah.
Your name ain't gonna be nowhere on it.
You're gonna be asking for a gavel because you're gonna be in prison because Stephen
selling DVDs at 95th.
Stephen King ain't playing with you.
95th.
Just like he said.
Stony Island.
My name's Andy Dufresne.
First time I met old Andy.
Everybody here is innocent. That's another profound line.
Hey, Joe, why you in here?
Everybody here. Don't you know?
I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. Wow. Yeah. So let's go to Proverbs 23 and read 1 through 8. Find out actually what he's saying. Because, we always quote, as a man thinketh. Okay. But I don't think we really realize what that means.
No, we don't.
Okay. I understand why y'all say it, but here's really where it comes from.
Okay.
While
dining with a ruler, pay attention to what is put before you. If you are a big eater, put a knife to your throat.
Wow.
Don't desire all the delicacies, for he might be trying to trick you.
Wow.
Don't wear yourself out trying to get rich. Be wise enough to know when to quit.
Wait a minute. Why don't prosperity preachers preach from this sermon?
Because it knocks the business.
Oh, my bad. Okay. All right, continue then.
They want you to get busy dying so they can get busy rich.
Okay.
In the blink of an eye, wealth disappears. For it will sprout wings and fly away like an eagle.
Bye-bye.
Don't eat with people who are stingy.
Oh.
Don't desire their delicacies. They are always thinking about how much it costs.
Wow.
Eat and drink, they say, but they don't mean it.
They don't even mean it.
You will throw up what little you've eaten,
Wow.
and your compliments will be wasted.
Wow. What's going on here? What's he saying? That's a lot.
Basically, the allegory or the symbolism of dining, breaking bread. It's alluding to your own desires or your own intentions. You have to be careful who you select to spend that intimate, delicate time of breaking bread with.
Yeah.
Don't go with greedy, get rich quick people who trying to play games.
Sure.
And don't get with stingy people either.
Yeah. And
because you become the game for them.
Absolutely. I was reading about Matthew Henry and then the pulpit commentary, and they use the word niggardly. Okay. Yeah. And I first thought I got offended right away. But then I thought about our yesterday's conversation about black people don't read.
Right.
The reason why we get offended about a lot of stuff because we don't read enough or study enough to know
true meanings of terms.
Okay. So niggardly actually
Greek root or Latin root
has nothing to do with the word nigger.
No, because niggers are not a real word.
It comes from...
It's slang from the Spanish word negro, which means black.
So, yeah. So the pulpit commentary says, "For as he think in his heart, so is he." The verb here used is shar, shaar, means to estimate, to calculate, and the clause is best rendered, "For as one that calculates with himself, so is he." The meaning, then it says, the meaning is that this niggardly host watches every morsel which his guest eats and grudges what he appears to offer so liberally. Now that's deep. And then Wikipedia says there's a controversy over the word niggardly in the United States. There have been several controversies concerning the word, an adjective meaning stingy or miserly, because of its phonetic similarity to the racial slur nigger. Etymologically, etymology, but when they put
etymology,
you have to go quickly, like you.
Etymology.
There you go. The words are unrelated.
Mm-hmm.
It's not related. Okay, and that right there in itself is something that needs to be studied and talked about. But this as you enter into this book here, now you have something to say about that book, that Proverbs there. There, I got one out of all your writing here in this book. All right, there's one that is my ultimate favorite. My ultimate favorite, and it's the one you would say, how could that possibly be?
Enlighten me.
It is a great poem, absolutely magnificent, and it doesn't say much at all because it's a show about nothing.
I bet I know what it is.
You do? You think
you wrote it? You better know.
No, he don't know what I'm thinking.
The end. That's what he's thinking.
Absolutely. It is great, and it defines us to a T. But it says, I, the Son, an anthology of poems, short stories, songs, and slices of life. Now, watch this intro here. Let me see where, let me go to the, not the acknowledgements. Oh, right here. He talked about the cover concept. All right, now who is Janelle?
Janelle was a ex-co-worker of mine. We worked at a company called UCAN.
Sure.
And,
Yeah.
She's since gone home to be with the Lord, and to our shock. And I had the book designed a certain way, and she looked at it in Janelle Smith fashion and said, "You know what? Let me tell you something." And she said, "I like what you're doing. This could be a coffee book if you do a little different." So I listened and I redesigned the cover, and I liked it. She liked it. And so I felt that it was only the right thing to do was give her some credit for it.
Oh, absolutely. I think you did perfectly. And that's what you said here. He says, final cover production by Damon Reed.
Yeah, Damon Reed is an artist friend of mine. He's the bomb. Damon Lamar Reed.
So you gave the time, and this is, see, I do this on all the songs I've ever written. I've always put a time date on it. Okay, it's very important to me. You got 11:37 p.m. Now, here's a conversation between you and her. So it opens up with her. She says, what else you've been up to? We haven't talked in a while. And you say, I'm just messing around, writing poems and stories and stuff. And then she says, really? You write? Let me hear one. So you says 3 poems and short stories later, she responds and says, oh my God, that was really good. I could picture what was happening in my mind. You need to write a book or something. It was written in a way that she could picture what you were saying.
Right.
And I think that is the best writing, Alvin, is when someone is, as a matter of fact, we do songwriters shows, and before you even hear the melody, just read from someone's lyrics of a song.
Yeah, you can get the image,
and you're supposed to be able to get the imagery in it. If you can't,
if someone who needs someone to compose the music or arrange music, I said, let me see your lyrics.
That's, man.
Sometimes it helps give me direction on what's the style.
I
of the
love
genre.
it. People give me songs all the time, and they'll start singing. No, don't sing it to me. Talk to me. Read it to me.
Right.
And if it ain't making sense, the lyrics, I said, that's a rewrite. You got to go back and do it again.
And if you remember, that was what made the difference between, we got to a period, and I believe we're there again in gospel music when it comes to songs and lyrics. When in the 80s, I remember being in my sister's car, and we were headed fishing. I didn't do a whole lot with my sister, so it was kind of a treat. It was 4 a.m., and I heard, ding, 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 the question is, and it was written in such a fashion that it got my attention right away.
Gospel rhetoric.
Right. Yeah. And Commission did the same thing. They wrote songs that you can identify with.
Maybe your mother slapped your father.
Right, exactly. We can relate to that. Real life. You may not come when you want it, but it's right all the time. And that's fine, but, we've been doing that for 40 years, and so that's good, that's great writing.
Wow. I agree with that. You said sometimes the birth of a thing is nourished by the encouragement of a friend. Okay, this was your quotes. So you said, thank you, April Anderson Dudley. for listening. Now, your preface.
That's
is
Dudley now.
Why do I have it on my?
And she was really a blessing because the way it came about was, man, I was really kind of going through some things, that midlife thing, trying to find myself, and I've always loved to write, and I just was writing stuff, kind of closet writing. Guys don't really like to share, so poetry.
True.
Poetry kind of went along the lines of, you ain't really knowing what I'm talking about.
Yes, and then they decided to call it rap. So
Right.
Really,
there you go.
You're a poet, man.
She kind of gave me the encouragement to was the first one, which is why I put the page in there.
Sure. Well, he says here, over the years, I have come to grips with who I am. Although I have many interests and hobbies, at the heart of it all, I am an artist. I started as a kid drawing in Chicago's worst housing project, the Robert Taylor Homes, until I graduated from 8th grade. In truth, I could do most anything with my hands, whether it was building complex model cars and airplanes and painting and designing and constructing things. I later made props and designed sets for plays. In high school and college, I excelled in music, sax and woodwinds, I talked about earlier. I enjoyed playing jazz, classical, gospel music with great passion. Then he says, I never considered myself a writer, though. As a musician, I wrote music and lyrics for songs I heard in my head. But as I got older, writing lyrics evolved. I never thought I'd be on the Sir Walter Jones show, be doing a radio show. I played around with it when I was a kid. I thought, fading thought, do something else with your life. Here I am doing this. Never thought. But you says your lyrics evolved into poetry and finally short stories. It became the secret way I wrote down my ideas, feelings, and perceptions. It was the way I preceded thoughts and pain. And in truth, it probably kept me from going crazy. And that's why I had Crazy played on here as my bumper. What was going on in your mind?
If you look at, and I don't have a date on all of the pieces because, all the time I'm not thinking about that. But if you look at them around that 2005, 2004, 2008, by the time 2008 rolled around, my life was completely unraveled.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things, man. Separation. 2009, it was, official. I had kids. I got left with the kids. All their hurt and their anger, because they weren't like 9 and 10. They were like teenagers, so they can tell me how much they hate me or what's going on. Because they don't know what was going on. But I have to deal with all of that, and plus my own pain, feelings of inadequacies, because we all buy the lie.
Sure.
And we're all socially constructed, whether we want to admit to it or not. We're put together a certain way, whether it be in the church, school, your community, and your household. We learn a certain thing. And, and y'all can attest to this, growing up in the 60s and 70s and 80s, you taught to be hard. You taught to be, never cry and never do any of those things, because that's considered unmanly. Right. Until you get around 40, 42, and you see Morpheus in the corner with that pill. It's all a lie.
It's all a lie.
Wow.
And, some brothers go find a biker chick, get a motorcycle, and go crazy. But for me, it was God just redefining who I was, or telling me who I was supposed to be in the first place.
Oh, absolutely. Now, in your table of contents, and I do this with all the book writers who come here, I read from the table of contents on my show.
Right.
Because what happens is the table of contents really define the book, of course. It's obvious. But it really, it goes deeper than that for me than it maybe do for others. Because you know how they say don't judge a book by its cover?
Right.
All right, so I judge books by, of course, the table of contents.
Page 5.
Yeah. right, exactly. But it opens up with, now you've got subtopics here, which talks about your poetry and songs. For instance, My Life, Mine. Okay?
Yes.
Now, is this you? My
Right.
Life, Mine.
The first section of poems is talking about me and my experiences and things to do with my life.
1962 would be what to you?
It is my declaration of birth and being here.
Yeah, discovered America. Because you said in there, you says, I was born the year before we lost our dear president, JFK.
Yeah, the first line is, the year after I was born, the nation was torn by the violent death of our president. And then 5 years passed, and we were given the task of mourning the death of a king.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? I mean, did you hear
That's
that?
very poetic.
That's very
Mourning the
poetic.
death of a
Come
king.
on, man. Come on. It is how, and they say psychologically, it's how you say things, and not so much what you say.
Yeah, man, you a pimp. You ain't no poet.
You know what I'm saying?
Game talk.
That's game. Yeah, and I think that's so beautifully written, and I paid attention to that. Now that's 62 because what it did was it became a period piece. It helped us see what was going on in the 60s because, a lot of young people, they really don't care about the 60s.
And you know what? It set up the whole rest of the book because in 1962, if that didn't happen and I didn't understand why I was here, then there would be no other pieces behind that.
That's again, it's cleverly written. Then you got what's called Monster. All right. Who was this Monster?
Monster is, I really love my family, and I had two older sisters, and my mother was married, stepfather,
right?
And we took a trip to Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Oh yeah, great place.
And I try to play with inventiveness and creativity in writing from different writing styles, and so I wrote it as a 5-6-year-old.
Okay,
interesting.
I'm talking about the story of us going down south, and then it's a family, our first family reunion. And I hear the older people, there's a shift with all the family that's around. All of a sudden, from a 6-year-old perspective, there's a shift in everybody's attitude. And I don't really know what it was. But I hear them saying, it's coming. It's going to be a monster.
Oh, wow.
And as it turns out, if you read the book, it's talking about how my family basically survived that night, being 45, 50, 60 miles off the coast of the Mississippi Gulf Coast when Hurricane Camille hit.
Oh, yeah.
And the monster was Camille because it battered the house, and my drunk uncle then was on the floor praying and singing songs, and I just remember it pushing the house around and stuff like that. And so it was written from a 6-year-old, and then of course after that.
And that's why I was wondering, because a lot of times it's all about comprehensive. If you read somebody's story and you ask them, how would you title this story? You might have called it Monster. I might have called it something else. Albert might have called it something else. Did you focus on the monster in this chapter?
I think I focused on the monster because at the end of the day, there's a period in the I'm giving away the book. There's a period in the ordeal when it's pretty much candles and lanterns, and everybody's praying, and you can hear the wind just all night. Hurricane Camille pretty much killed close to so many hundred people. Maybe 6,000-7,000 people were left homeless. And so during the night, we began to pray in the story and sing songs. And my family came together and started singing gospel songs. And as a little boy, God delivered us from the monster. So here you have something that's bigger than life, but because the family did that. And there's a line in the book when I come outside as a 6-year-old and we're running around the yard sword fighting. I say, because in the beginning book, I'm having some adversaries with my sisters, a typical big sister, I don't like her. And, but at the end I say, I love my family. I don't know where the monster gone. Maybe he goes somewhere where they not praying and they not singing.
Wow. Wow.
Good.
Yeah. Well, in walks Ida Son, November 2006. It was a very good year. He says, I am the son of John Carter, and no one gives a D. And he says, I told it to the wind. Now, this is a great story and interesting, too, because he says, I told it to the wind, and he laughed, a dry whisper of a laugh, and I knew I was a fool. All right? We're going to talk about this after this break, because you and the wind have a conversation with each other.
Absolutely.
Who does that?
Everybody.
Speaking to Mother Nature. Yes. Great answer.
And I'll tell you who the wind is when we come back.
Y'all get ready. We got one more hour with this guy named Daryl. Yeah. Billy Joe, he gonna sing again. He also is in a state of mind. He's in a New York state of mind. Yeah. We going there.
East Coast.
Yeah, straight East Coast. I love New York. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you.
The junkiest city.
It may be junky and dirty and sometimes smelly, but I love me some New York. Shout out to my goddaughter, my Leah. Love you, girl. Huh?
New York ice cream?
Well, it's okay too. Shut up.
I like New York cherry.
Sir Walter Jones Show.
Destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
It always makes me laugh. Andy Dufresne, who crawled through a river and came out clean on the other side. Andy Dufresne, headed for the Pacific.
Hadley's got him by the throat, right? And he says, I believe this boy's about to have himself an accident.
Those of us who knew him best talk about him often. I swear the stuff he pulled.
These friends of mine could use a couple of beers. And he got it. And he got it.
Sometimes it makes me sad, though. Andy being gone. I have to remind myself that some birds aren't meant to be caged. Their feathers are just too bright. And when they fly away, the part of you that knows it was a sin to lock them up does rejoice. But still, the place you live in is that much more drab and empty that they're gone. I guess I just miss my friend.
Some folks like to get away, take a holiday from the neighborhood. Hop a flight to Miami Beach or to Hollywood. But I'm taking a Greyhound on the Hudson River line. I'm in a New York state of mind. Seen all the movie stars in their fancy cars and their limousines. Been high in the Rockies, under the evergreens. I know what I'm needing, and I don't want to waste more time. I'm in a New York state of mind. It was so easy living day by day, out of touch with the rhythm and blues. But now I need a little give and take. The New York Times, the Daily News. Comes down to reality, and it's fine with me, 'cause I've let it slide. Don't care if it's Chinatown or on Riverside. I don't have any reason left them all behind. I'm in a New York state of mind.
The following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries.
Thank you for listening to UBM Praise.
Friday.
Yes, sir. I'm in the New York state of mind. Billy Joel. Yes, sir.
Sing, New York.
Sing. You got a friend in me. Oh, my. You know, when you're a gospel singer, you have to say that. It's in our contract.
Oh, my.
Oh, my.
And yes, Lord.
And yes, Lord.
And amen.
And well, you have to say hallelujah, too.
Oh, glory.
At the end of it. At the end of the song.
And
You have to say hallelujah. And glory. That's true. Mm-hmm.
And you got a hump.
You do have to.
Or squall.
We got. Oh, that wasn't in my contract. I got to rewrite that. Yeah, we're talking with the great Daryl Smith, all the way from somewhere in Chicago, because, you know,
he's from Indiana, Chicago.
I meet him every 10 years, and he's somewhere else.
Indiana, Chicago.
Yeah. Into Chicago.
Eviction is something
Indiana,
else.
Chicago Avenue.
Nothing to play with.
Eviction is something else, yeah.
Homelessness.
Absolutely.
No, man, you just you just a man about town.
A man about town. Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's Native Americans, though. He's not Indian.
I'm a nomad.
I am, actually.
You are?
I am 164th Choctaw,
164. Really? You give me some chicken.
64 pieces make up him.
Choctaw. I'll show you some Choctaw. Oh, absolutely.
That sound like some Chinese food.
Nope. We are not doing that on this show. Either son.
Lies?
Yeah. Either son. Hey, man, where can we find this book before we continue?
You can go on Facebook and look up Daryl V. V as in Vincent Smith. Darryl V. Smith. Yeah. And find the link. You can go to dvsimaginespublishing.com and click on that, and it'll take you right to the website. Or you can go on Amazon.
Good.
And put in the title.
Just put in I the Son. And go to Amazon, and there it is. Yeah. But we were talking about that chapter of the book. You know, like CDs, they have what's called self-titled CDs, and they have, you know, the title of the track. And this would be considered that. And again, it opens up like the movie did. He said, "I am the son of John Carter," and no one gives a darn. And he says, "I told it to the wind." And you're talking to the wind, and then you begin to special effect Alvin. We get sound of Alvin. It's the sounds of Alvin. Who gives a damn? Listen to the sounds of Alvin. Who gives a damn? Yeah. Alvin, let me say something to you. Get out. And you said, I told my story with short singularity, not having a history, only having a personality because I was a child. Okay, so this is a child talking to the wind.
In a sense, you have to read kind of the whole paragraph. So I won't read the whole thing, but I'll read this one paragraph. It says, I am the son of John Carter, and no one gives a darn. I told it to the wind, and he laughed a dry whisper of a laugh, and I knew I was a fool. I told my story with short singularity, not having a history, only having a personality because I was a child who was grown but not matured, an empty vase that hadn't been poured into, hadn't been molded or painted. I strained and held my hand on my head and told the wind. I held my head and yelled, I am somebody. I am somebody. He laughed his dry laugh. I am somebody. He tried to hold it in, but he laughed at the ridiculousness of the statement. I am somebody.
The ridiculousness of the statement. Yeah. Why'd you put that in there?
I put that in there because, first of all, the person, and I use this a lot you'll see this as throughout the poems and stories. Whenever I refer to the wind, I'm talking about society. And I'm talking about people because people in society in its core, they're negative. And if you're looking for somebody or people or society to define you, then you're going to be lost. And you're not going to know who you are. Even though you may be standing up saying, I am somebody. Yeah. But you don't really know who that is.
See, that's great. I remember Solomon says, I would rather dwell on the rooftop than in the house of a contentious woman.
Yeah.
He said it would be easier to catch the wind in my hand. And I think this is, you got here you got the sub topic here, I have the son. Then you have who the heck am I? Okay. And then
sound like an identity crisis.
Yeah, then you write about that, then you say, man, who am I? Okay? And then you say, who the heck are we then? How do we get in here?
Because, and ask the question, I say, of course I am somebody, you are somebody, we are somebody, they are somebody, but who the
There
heck
it
am
is.
I and why
There
am
it
I
is.
here?
There it
and
is.
And once again, I asked him to win, but he remained silent. I only heard my echo. And if you don't know who you are, you don't know who other people are either.
Yeah.
We know what we see on TV and we know
Yeah.
what we see in the neighborhood and even in our house, but we really don't know who we are because we're using the wrong things to define who we are.
Wow.
Yes, that's good.
That is. Oh, yeah. Well, you say, I love her so, but she had no pen. Ideas that caused me to stand alone at times, but uptight or upright. Tired sometimes and often ridiculed by, but uncompromising ideas. And you say in quotes, when I said that, the wind took notice.
That's right. Because people look for things that are different.
Yeah.
And they look for things that are outside of what's defined as the thing, especially when it's excellent, when it's godly. That's how people get saved. They see something that they need and that they want. When I make reference to the pen, I'm talking about the fact that my father was never there. So my father couldn't write in my skin who I am and in my DNA or in our talking or whatever about my family history, stories about ancestors and them laboring under the merciless southern sun. And how to treat a woman, and none of that was written in me.
That's right.
My mother tried,
yes,
but she had no pen.
She had no pen. I love that line in there. Yes. Oh, yeah. It was a great line there. I think you brought up something about a stepfather or something in here.
I think that's in Monster.
That's in Monster.
Talk about the stepfather.
Okay.
But women, mothers are not necessarily given the pen. That is our job, is to tell our kids who they are. Now, my mother gave me some framework as far as, you're supposed to do this, but I really wanted somebody that looked like me, that had my nature to define who I was.
Man.
And, of course, the part that you're talking about when you get to where I'm starting, there's a point in this piece where I realized that, okay, that's not going to happen, and I'm pretty much despondent. But then I find another writer who has a bigger pen.
But yeah, that's it.
And he starts telling me who I am. I'm a man of purpose.
Yeah.
You are a man of integrity. You are a man of that. And that's how it ends with this declaration of, now that I found God, I know who I am.
And yeah. And then the wind took notice. Then you says, now you're saying, I am a man of principles. Now you're defining, okay, positively defining. So I'm a man of principles. Then you says, I am a father. Who am I? But when you go to where I am a father, what's going on there? Why'd you say I'm a father? I mean, have you come to realization of who you are?
One of the things that God has called me to be is a father, but as I pointed in the first sentence, it says not just of the three that come from my blood, because I have 3 natural children, but the thousands he, my stepfather, told me to pour into. Thousands over a lifetime, millions in the future. I didn't know this was in me, but his pen is strong. His words he wrote in the crevices in my mind were before time, this time, for such a time. They notice me, my children, or the words, and I write on them to live.
Yeah, and this is where I saw the stepfather reference.
Yeah. Stepfather would be my, in a sense, my adopted father. We're not naturally from God.
Right.
We are bought with a price.
Yes.
And so Jesus bought us with his blood. And so we are, the spirit of adoption, we are now adopted into the family of God. You can't unadopt a child naturally either. So I'm his forever, whether I act the fool or not. But my stepfather loved me more than my real father, because my stepfather is bigger than my real father.
Yeah,
he loved me unconditionally.
Yeah, it's just powerful reading. He and I joke around a lot, but sometimes we get there, we get a little serious. But
yeah, that was deep.
Oh yeah, it was. He gave me the book.
She didn't have a pen. That was powerful.
That was powerful. That was. And he asked me how to do. How did you feel about the book? I said, no, it's good. He said, don't lie to me. You know you didn't read the book. You don't read the book. And I tell them I always prepare for my shows. I always, sometimes I overly prepare for my shows. I do.
I'm impressed.
Oh yeah, well thank you, sir. Oh yeah, I don't play it. When somebody give me something, I'm gonna read it because especially it's gonna be my show because I don't want to be the guy sitting there on the mic saying, "Okay, now tell me more." That means he ain't read. Tell me more.
He don't want me to talk about him. Black folk don't read.
Black folk don't read. Yeah, right.
Well, look at the time.
Yeah, right. We got 3 hours left. Well, look at the time.
That's all the time we have for you.
Yeah, for you, right?
Now back to nothing.
But this one here says, I saw the Lord.
Yes.
And here is my favorite. Now, did you think this was the one?
No, I really did.
Which one you thought was the one?
I thought it was I See Sin.
Yes.
The section of that
It
he's
is.
referring to is called, you're talking about the section of the piece.
The section. We See Sin.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
my favorite.
Oh, that is your favorite.
That is my favorite. You
See,
did good. You did good.
I know my
You did
boy.
good. You do. Yeah.
Yeah, the second or third section is called I Saw the Lord, and that's all
Yeah.
the spiritual pieces. I mean, all of them are connected
Right.
with that because that's who I am. I
Right.
mean, I can't disconnect
Sure.
who I am, but these speak to spiritual pieces. And I
Absolutely.
Saw the Lord is the title piece of what I call the Reverend Theopolis' sermon, and it's just that old school Baptist preacher giving a sermon on how he came to know God,
Yeah.
came to know Christ. But
Yeah, this is simple, but yet everybody can identify with this one. Read that. We See Sin.
yeah, like once again, I was all over the place as far as creativity and trying to convey thought in different ways. And when you talk about this, it is pretty simple. It goes, we see sin, we run in, never count cost until we lost. Feel much pain, makes us lame. Find again rope, give us hope. We get back strong after so long. We see sin, run in again. And close the book. I mean, that's true. That's volume, though, man. That's us as people.
Depth.
And it's a circumference. It's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle that we see this sin. Now, note you said we see sin, which means we knew it was.
Absolutely,
we knew it was sin.
The Bible says no man is what tempted by God, but is drawn away by his own lust.
Yeah.
So and God always makes a way for our escape if you're a believer. So we kind of know what we get.
We know.
Even if you ain't saved, you got a conscience.
Yes. That's good stuff. Which one of these, I don't know, it might not be easy for you. Which one of these you think would be your top writing?
Out of the whole book?
Out of this whole book, your most favorite piece. And all artists are asked that. What's your favorite songs you've ever written?
Because it's broken up into my neighborhood is one section that talks about my social word and what's going on in my neighborhood. There's a piece about I forgot the name of my own piece. Talks about No Tears for Charlotte is a powerful one. But then there's a section on love and things that happen and doing love, good and bad. And I think the Forever Man is probably my favorite piece.
Okay. Now, do you have a favorite section?
Oh, favorite section?
Because let's go from this, and I'm going to let the audience know what these sections are. My Life, Mine is the first section,
right,
with a series of pieces in that. Then I Saw the Lord, which my favorite piece is in there, called We See Sin. The next section is called In the Beginning. It's funny that the end of the beginning is in the middle of the book.
And it's talking about death.
Talking about, yes. He says, if I should pass to hell with death before I die. Those are the pieces within that topic. Then you got My Neighborhood. Okay. Your neighborhood. Which neighborhood? What are you talking about?
My social world. I'm talking
Social
about,
world.
there are pieces in there like No Tears for Charlotte. That's talking about an abused girl. It's probably, I work in youth development, and it's probably the culmination of so many young ladies that I see as a preteen and as a teenager, and they end up going down that path because they just don't feel good in their skin, which is a line in the piece.
Why Charlotte? Why you choose the name? Is Charlotte a name? Is Charlotte
just a name that I don't know why it came up.
I mean,
I really have.
I like the name, and I think we can put a title. We can throw out a name, and to us, we don't know why we use it, but to us, we heard it in our minds, and we had to place it out there.
Well, I definitely didn't want to put a name that's kind of common, and then people
Sure.
be like, "You write this about me?"
About me.
You know, because I've been working with you for like 20-something years.
That's good.
A long time.
Yeah.
But I think that it just came out that way. I don't know what made me pick that.
So you got Cool June, Conversations, Remembering DuSable Street. Yeah, that sounds like a movie. Remembering DuSable Street.
And that's a very important thing because it talks about in a poetic way DuSable Street.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have a complete city that was in a state, or the biggest city, one of the third largest, fourth largest in America, that was founded by a black man.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no street named.
Sure,
for it. So I'm actually talking about
There's the bridge. He has DuSable Memorial Bridge over the Chicago River. And then there's the school and the museum. That's it. But there should be a street.
Yeah. Because
in fact, Dearborn should be called DuSable.
Let me tell you something.
I agree with that.
State Street should be called.
That's right.
DuSable.
Yeah, well, the state in Dearborn.
Yeah, it's the it runs through the city.
Yeah.
And if it would have been Washington,
I'm talking about the location of his post.
Sure.
It was at Dearborn Street.
That's yes, you're right.
Yeah,
You're
it was a
absolutely
port.
right.
It was a port.
Yeah.
Port Dearborn. But you actually correct there. And then of course you've something ad produced. ADD.
Something ADD produced. This show.
Pretty much.
Right.
Pretty
This show is a product of ADD.
Yeah. Oh, show 'em. Yeah, show 'em. That's a segment there called Show 'em.
The section called Show 'em is kind of my anthem. It's my fist in the air. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Let's go get up and get 'em. It's one of the reasons, because it is, some of them are named after title pieces, not all of them.
Sure.
And it's not a very long one, but
no, I can see it's from two old. It's looked like it's about 10 pages or 9 pages because it says from page 201 to 210.
Well, the piece though,
each
poem,
okay,
named Show 'em, which is named after the title.
Gotcha.
It's really only like a page,
it's a
page and a half.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons why I dropped 120 pounds and was able to.
You showed me when you walked
through the help of the Lord.
Man, many times I done dropped my phone. I wish I can drop some pounds.
I can't.
And you'll see another reference about the wind when I say I remember the teachers, the family, and the wind who prophesied my demise.
Wow. The wind prophesied his demise.
And my family and my friends.
Wow.
know. And you just got to make up in your mind you're going to do something. And,
yeah.
And the only way you can do some things is with the help of the Lord.
That's good stuff. Well, I want to talk about these, go back to these events here because, again, I think writing this book here pretty much is the story of your day-to-day life. Living in Chicago, seeing the stuff that you see around you, and this is why I call the show As a Man Think, because when you read this book, you can see where your thought patterns were.
But you know what? Let me interject something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I thought about this. I don't really think it's just my life. I think that if you read the book, you can relate to it because I feel like I'm just an average guy with the experiences that everybody else go through.
Sure.
The difference is that I've been blessed to know how to maybe convey my feelings and thoughts and write them down.
Yeah.
But I think that there are certain pieces in here you're going to be able to say, okay, I know what he was going through because I went through that.
Well, I said that earlier with Janelle. Is that her name?
Yeah, Janelle Smith.
Yeah. You notice what she said earlier. She's asked you what you were doing.
Oh, you mean April. I'm sorry.
Is it April?
Yeah.
Okay. And you pretty much says, I'm just writing stuff. And you said 3 poems later, a short story came out. And then she said, oh, my God, that was really good. I could picture what was happening, not in your mind, but in her mind.
Right. I didn't have the confidence. I did not consider myself a writer. I was a closet writer. I was just writing stuff down. I was never good at journaling.
Really?
Journaling. I tried to journal, and it'd be like a 3-year gap between
3-year gap.
entries. So
sounds like my life.
Exactly. But poetry and short stories, I was able to focus and kind of put some of that, pain and joy and experience, And I used to kind of disguise stuff because I didn't want my kids to come along and read something on the computer like, what's Dad going through?
Yeah.
And so it was kind of way. And when she called one night, we hadn't spoken a while. She, a half hour later, she's listening to my stories. And she was amazed. And it took me a long time to believe that she was actually being sincere.
Wow.
Because I just really didn't have that confidence at the time. I know. Here we go a few years later, I'm at my first book.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious what Art Lewis is saying here. I think he's going back to the Kim story, the judge. He's saying judge is not rogue. Kim should have stepped down. It's her job, and her signature as clerk is the stamp of the office, not the person or their personal opinion. The U.S. Treasury signs the money. Does that mean they endorse the drugs, illegal guns, or prostitutes purchased with it? Okay, and this is Art Lewis. He's always very controversial, but you have to you have to really pay attention to what he's saying because he talks fast. But he says she refused someone their legal rights and did so as a public official, and as such broke the law herself. The Bible speaks of obedience to the law of the land. Doing her job is not a reflection of her spiritual guidelines. What she does off the clock is a direct expression of those values. She lives in a country that has a foundation of religious freedom that also includes those who do not subscribe to any religious doctrine. She cannot, as a public official, force her religious morality upon another. Plus, Christianity is not about forcing anyone to believe or to join. If her convictions are this string, well, I think he meant strong, about the matter, she should have stepped down, found another position, not impede upon another's legal rights. If she was successful in this endeavor, then you can kiss your other religious freedom goodbye. Because if the government gets to decide what is spiritually valid, then it's only a matter of time before the government will tell you what thus says the Lord. Now, that was Art Lewis. Actually, that's great writing, whether you agree or disagree with it.
It's very well written and expressed.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
And as much as I like Art, I have to say,
you disagree.
I disagree.
Because he really makes a good lawyer in this writing here. He would be a good lawyer to
Well, yeah. The part I disagree with when he says if the government gets involved, then they'll be able to soon say what thus saith the Lord. They are already doing it.
They've been doing that.
And they are doing it. So
because they are the Lord.
According to them.
To them. Absolutely. No, and that's a great response there. And I think Daryl Smith touched on that a little bit when he says, you obey the law. I think it's Romans 14, 15, something like that. You're supposed to obey the law, but when the law goes against God, then how do we obey that? I mean, and then there's choices that we have to make whether we're going to be a part of it. I mean, I see people who are in church, they pay their tithes and offerings, they work at the liquor store.
Yeah.
Okay. And people say, how are you selling liquor and cigarettes and all this stuff? And you coming in and you're paying your money, giving your money to the church, what have you. And I've heard two sides of the story because I know people who are Christians, but they work at the liquor store. And they say, that's it's not a moral situation. This is my job. I need to make a living. And that's where I'm working. A lot of times they say I was working there before I got saved. Now I got saved. I got to leave now.
Yeah. Not just that, but liquor in itself is not a sin.
No, it's not.
Drunkenness is the sin.
There you go.
And there are people who love or like to taste liquor, whether it's acquired taste or not, but they're not drunks.
Cigarettes is a sin. Okay, but they sell cigarettes. They sell cigarettes.
And how is cigarettes a sin? I may ask for
because it's destroying the body.
Well, they say liquor is. Heck, food destroys the body.
Yeah, but food is used for us to live. Cigarettes are not there for our lives.
What food is for the live that destroys our body?
Everything well, see, then you go into the
tobacco a plant.
Chitlins, chitlin is a food, but it ain't good for your body.
You know?
No, I didn't say all food. I said so we want to be specific. The foods that given to us that we're supposed to eat because we did a show on Leviticus.
Yeah.
Okay. So the ones that we're supposed to eat is for our life.
Yeah. So these tater chips, I'm going to hell. Why not?
Just as bad
that's potatoes.
That's fried chips.
That's potatoes.
So
who says that the potatoes is a sin?
No,
in this state it ain't good. Hydrogenated oil just fried on a little tater.
Okay, so I don't know how your chips are made.
But you like tater chips. That's why he justified.
I love potato chips. Don't tell me
A black man invented them.
See, I'm cool. I like some cools on New York.
Brittany's telling me to break before she break my neck. We're coming back. This is the Winans. Straighten my life out again.
Ooh, thought it was Seinfeld. You mean coming up?
Yeah, coming up. Because you got a little piece in there called about something about your life.
Yeah, I quit my liquor store job too, man. You kind of put me out there, man.
So I'm show.
Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our children.
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
As the words rolled off his tongue,
I have decided in 2020
eyes rolled
to run for president.
So does that mean Kim Kardashian will be the first lady?
No ifs, ands, but plenty of but about it. In no time, you could buy the shirt, wear the speech, ponder Kanye West on Mount Rushmore.
Gives a whole new meaning to the West Wing.
The Kardashian clan chimed in on social media, with Kourtney suggesting a Keeping Up with the Kardashians White House edition. Some proposed possible running mates. As for who the rapper could run against, the dream matchup had Kanye crowned with Trump-like hair. Without any further ado, may we present the imaginary Donald versus Kanye debate, the clash of the narcissists.
Politicians are all talk, no action.
I'm not no politician, bro.
I will be the greatest jobs president that God ever created.
I am the #1 most impactful artist of our generation. I am Shakespeare in the flesh.
I don't care. I'm really rich.
Listen to the kids, bro.
Sit down. Sit down.
I will die for the art.
You're finished.
But it, bro.
There's no question Kanye took the high road.
Did he smoke something before he came out here? The answer is yes. I rolled up a little something. I knocked the edge off.
Now all of a sudden they're saying it's having tremendously damaging effects to the mind, to the brain.
Because it ain't about me. It's about ideas, bro.
Because this is about you. It's not about me.
Trump may not be able to compete as a rapper, but he knows when to cut the music. Just don't expect Kanye to be addressing my fellow Americans.
Bro, I don't understand it, bro.
Jeannie Mo, CNN.
Sit down.
New York.
I have to admit that I thought I had it under control. Feelings inside seem to override what I know. I'll take the blame, and I feel quite ashamed that I let it go this far. But I'm coming to you, honest and true, telling you, do what you have to, for I don't wanna love. I don't wanna see wrong. I don't wanna be wrong. So straighten my life out again. Do it again. Straighten my life out again. I believe
raise concerns that it never happens again. Here's where it is. I'm making amends. I lived that way once. I can't live that way again. I don't wanna love wrong. I don't wanna see wrong. No. I don't wanna be wrong. So straighten my life out, okay? Whoa, do it again. Would you just straighten my life out, okay? You said you could make the crooked straight, and in the middle of a desert, you could spring a well. So I'm asking of you, ain't hard for you to do. Want to just take my life, make it right, turn this darkness into light. For I just wanna love right. I just wanna see right. That's all it is. I just wanna be right. So straighten my life out, okay? And do it again. Would you please straighten my life out? For I just wanna love right. Yeah, just wanna see. I wanna be able to see you right. Just wanna. Oh, I wanna be right. So straighten my life out, okay? Please do it for me, Jesus. Would you just straighten my life out? Straighten my life. I take all the pains from life, all the pains in life. Straighten my life, 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 straighten my life.
Straighten my life, y'all. The great Marvin L. Winans. That's from the Let My People Go album, 1985. Daryl, what was you doing in 85?
Trying to figure out where I was going to get my next Jerry curl.
Your next Jerry curl? You got curl, swirl, heavier, something with classy curl.
Trying to get that stuff out of my sheets.
Oh, wow. It's like, yeah, oh, my goodness. Sheets and pillowcases.
Those were the dark years.
Yeah, the TCB. You should have had Jerry.
Those were dark years.
Stay soft roll. That's what you're supposed to have.
Stay soft, yeah.
Eventually, yeah, I got that.
What were you doing in 85?
What was that? Junior high school? Sophomore junior high school?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Still chasing the girls.
Just discovering playing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You still got the Jerry curl.
Yeah,
still got it, y'all. Take a picture and put them on Facebook.
That ain't nothing but those, apparently.
Ain't nothing but
But my pillowcase is clean.
Juice and dairy.
Yeah, I ain't nothing on this wall. I sat here.
You got that soul.
Oh, God. That was the worst connection.
And my dear friend, all the way from, early 80s, man, late 70s, I think it was. Late 70s, yeah. Late 70s, walked in the room here. I forgot. I thought somebody, the Lord, and took him away maybe or something. I don't know. Popped on Facebook, and there he is. This is the great Ray Darius Mays. Love. Okay,
Yeah,
there was
man.
Mazes and there were Loves. Okay,
Right.
You were the Love.
I am a
Yeah,
love.
he is a Love. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, bro.
Man, it's so good to see you. It's just amazing how, I guess that would be 40 years ago.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, about 40 years ago. And this brother right here always got me in trouble. We would run the streets.
Nah, man, it was the other way around.
We would run the streets. My father, carpenter, would do some work.
Mr. Jones.
Yeah, Mr. Jones would do some carpentry work at his house. His mom, Maxine, just had a birthday.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, how old is she now? 65. Gosh. And West Sider. And so his brother, Drake, would run with my older brothers.
Yes.
Okay, because, and then me being a little peon, I had to, so this young man here became my good friend, close best friend.
Yeah.
And we ran the streets together, and which got us in trouble. Yeah. Because
I'm at home. I'm watching TV, minding my own business. Then you come down the stairs. I was like, oh, somebody to play with. You stay now. You know how Mr. Jones is.
I do. Yes.
He's strict. So
Yeah.
you stayed over your time.
I sure did.
He had to come get you.
Yeah, he did.
And he whooped me too.
Yeah, he did.
What?
Yes,
You
he
got a
did.
whooping from somebody else's parent?
He sure did.
Wow, he just felt like beating people.
Right, because the
Man, your daddy wasn't a police officer?
To me, well,
hold on, you didn't come home on time, and you got the beat.
I got a whooping
he got a whooping
too.
That's crazy.
Right. He got a whooping.
At your house?
At my
At his house.
Yeah.
That's my
Man,
daddy.
let me tell you something.
My dad didn't play.
I bet you was putting him out next time like a cat on the Flintstones.
I'm responsible.
Yeah.
You know, I was my brother's keeper.
From that moment on.
Oh yeah, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, Pop's actually whooping this man, this boy. But then I realized as I got older, this was all about the village.
Oh yeah.
That's what it was. It was a village.
But we really need that now.
I can't see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can agree with another person being able to win another person's child because of good. But y'all was safe at his house.
Well,
wait, my
and it
mother,
wasn't his fault.
Wait,
right.
Now that's what I don't agree with. I'm like, why am I
getting the beat? I think he felt that he was persuading me. He was a bad influence. So he said, "Well, I'm gonna beat this guy too,
just in case."
Right, you in home on time.
Right.
The lights came on. I'm going home, Walter. Okay, and he go home with you, but you get beat.
I'm supposed to now, Walter. Now I'm a kid too, right?
Right.
I'm supposed to be responsible.
You're supposed to be the voice of reason all of a sudden.
I'm happy to have.
Man, I'd
someone
have took
to
the
play
air out of
with.
that man's tie.
Oh no, you don't want to do that.
He wouldn't have known I did. I said Walter did it.
Oh yeah,
and then I'd have been at your house,
Right.
watching you get whooped.
Right.
But wait, my mother was there.
Yeah,
she was
right there.
She probably handed him the belt.
Yeah, I think
I'm
she did.
not sure.
She handed him the belt.
So that was something you did something else.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
revenge.
You always get it for something you did and you thought you
Payback.
got away with.
Yeah.
Right.
That's payback.
That's what
yeah,
that is.
yeah. Well, we hung out. His church was the Great Stone Temple.
Stone Temple.
Over there.
Yeah.
Douglas
On Douglas Boulevard.
Yes, sir.
That was a flagship church.
That
back in the day.
flagship, and that's when Martin Luther King.
That's why he whooped you, because you was Baptist.
That's what it was.
That's why.
That's what it was.
Got my son over here in this Baptist
Oh,
house, and
yeah.
I'm Church of God in Christ. See there? That's what it was.
I think it was that.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Oh yeah.
He tried to get you saved.
He tried to.
He beat the hell out you.
Yeah, man. Great memories. I thank God for it. And I think you used to hang out over friendship or was it fellowship?
Yeah. I took off from Stone Temple and went over to Fellowship.
Yeah. What's that map? What is that street? What's that?
45th and Princeton.
Princeton. Yeah. Oh yeah. Good
you
West
thinking
Side
Unity Fellowship.
I'm
on
thinking
Cicero.
Unity. Yeah.
Reverend Clay Evans.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where you go, Griggy?
Yeah, the tongue.
The tongue.
You bite the tongue.
Yeah, man. Great memories. Again.
What a ship. It's a friendship. It's a fellowship. There is no secret.
That's him.
Was it Warren?
Got to do that fellowship.
Ralph.
Screen. Yeah, my shout out to Jones over there. We do our shout outs. We do our celebrity shout outs on Wednesday, so you ain't gonna hear him now. But I'm just so funny and ironic that I'll have both of my boyhood, friends here on today's show. And actually, Alvin Carter
I grew up right in the same neighborhood.
grew right up in the same neighborhood. He ran with the same people I ran with, but we never once met each other. Wow. Never.
Wow.
We traveled. We played for the same people.
In the door, out the door.
We play. I played for Calvin Bridges. Okay, he played with Cal Bridges. We never saw each other.
Wow.
The same year that we met even Bobby Jones.
Yeah.
Okay, I met him 91. I was on stage, and he met him 91.
He went to school with friends I hung with out after school.
Sure did. Oh, just crazy stuff. Yes. We never won. I ran with we talked about Moore, the organist who wrote
Brenda
the song,
Moore.
Brenda Moore. Okay, and all this stuff, and it's just amazing how fate happens.
Small world.
It is a small world.
It is a small world.
Yeah, yeah.
Grew up on Holman and Fulton.
Holman and Fulton. I went to Beidler, actually.
Yeah, my nephew went to Beidler, and my cousins and uncles went to Beidler.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Am I the only person on the panel from the South Side?
We don't hold that against you.
I ain't never heard of none of these schools that y'all just mentioned. Was that
You didn't
out of
go to
state
school.
Holman is
Thank you.
right down the street from my house.
I ain't never heard of half them streets, half them people.
Holman's on the South
Because
Side.
you know, on the South Side, we just thought the West Side was a whole completely different world.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
People on the West Side, they wore bell bottoms and stacks like in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's true. And it's funny how you can live in a city like this,
have different styles,
and not just that, but the
and
South
he gonna
Side.
agree with you, which ain't true at all.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You have to. There were many people on the South Side had never been to the West Side.
Yeah, I was.
They were,
or they didn't know how. They thought they were on the West Side when they weren't.
Right. Exactly. Right. They were on Roosevelt Road.
Yeah.
They said,
Thought they in Jewtown. We on the West Side. That's Jewtown.
That's Jewtown. That's
Let me
near
tell you
South.
something. You know, when I knew I was on the West Side, I was grown. It was 3 a.m, and I saw a little baby standing on the corner.
That might have been my nephew.
Wait a minute.
That was Paul Jones.
That don't even sound right.
I was like, what kind of place is this?
That don't even sound right. That don't sound like the West Side I grew up on.
Yeah, that was Albany Street, Doctor. Yeah, that's where it was.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
right up
it
in
really
there.
was. Yeah,
Little kids, like 10, 11. On the,
They was running it. They was running it, man.
Right.
Yeah, and
I rolled my windows up, and I was from Robert Taylor.
And y'all always talked about the West Side.
And I'm
you
not
South
judging.
Side.
I'm from Robert
Right,
Taylor.
right.
I'm just saying.
You can't judge it, right?
3 a.m. Our
You
kids
from
in the
Robert
house.
Taylor.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Your cousin was Cabrini Green. But you were.
Now that's North Side.
That's straight
That's
north
the North
side.
Side,
That's straight
right.
north.
I
Well,
tell
Gold
you-
Coast. They call that near north, actually.
I tell you what, I had a girlfriend from the South Side, but because I was from the West Side, her mom wanted her to elevate to someone.
Hey, you wasn't good enough.
Right, I wasn't good enough.
Wow. That's messed up.
It is.
That's messed
She's
up.
like, do you have to go? He's from the West
Now, it's
Side.
funny you say that because the West Side guys are like, man, where you all be getting them South Side girls
Yeah,
from,
exactly,
man?
exactly.
Church. They start
yeah.
going to church.
Yeah, man.
And the West Side girls, boy.
Yeah.
Boom. That's funny because we didn't care for them.
Pretty, but they'll fight
Right,
you.
we didn't.
We didn't care for them. Y'all thought y'all had something.
Oh,
Like, oh,
we-
man.
You notice
She
I
a
said-
doorknob.
Yeah,
Everybody get a turn.
Yep.
They were fine, but they'll fight you.
Oh, yeah.
They were
They'll
tough.
fight you.
They was our bodyguards.
Oh, yeah. They
What you say? Start taking the earrings off.
Get some Vaseline.
That's where
That's
that
right.
came from.
I
That
never
came
understood the
from West
Vaseline, man. I just couldn't understand.
Oh, it stopped you from scratching.
That's I found that I was 40 years old before I figured that out. I'm like, why they got Vaseline? And they take the
Did
shoes
you get a
off.
lot of scratches?
Yeah.
Look at his face.
Look at the face.
Talk about I was shaving.
Right. With what? A Ginsu?
Ginsu.
Oh, you playing with a cat.
Slice and dice. Yeah.
Food processor. I'm sorry.
Yep, this is Friday. We're allowed to do this.
You know, we fell out one time, remember?
What? Who you mean?
Yeah, we was grown because I loaned you my Ren and Stimpy tape.
Oh my
Remember
God,
that?
I still got it.
You still
Ren
got my
and
tape?
Stimpy?
Ren and Stimpy.
Really?
You idiot.
Stimpy.
Oh, my.
Stimpy. Idiot.
Oh yeah, I still got it. VHS.
Oh, my.
Yeah,
it was
VHS.
yellow.
It was
I think
orange.
Yeah, it was orange.
Yeah, it was orange.
Oh, I still got it.
I never got that back.
You want my VHS player? Don't play no more. So
He kept it till you can't use it anymore.
yeah,
Right, because I don't have a machine anymore
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Right.
So it's no good to you.
Right.
You idiot.
I was going to get it transferred, too.
To a CD.
Nah,
To
yeah,
DVD.
DVD.
It was great cartoon, man.
Yeah,
It was
great
great
cartoon.
Really?
program.
I hated that cartoon.
Did you?
Oh, seriously?
You had
Yes.
to do.
Yeah, I didn't.
Ren and Stimpy was.
Right.
They were
It
before its time.
insulted my intelligence.
Really, but you watch South Park.
No, I don't.
It insulted your intelligence.
I didn't watch South
But yeah,
Park.
he
I
watched
studied at Harvard.
No.
I bet you watched Beavis and Butthead, didn't you?
No.
No,
What
that
was-
wasn't
what
you?
was your cartoon?
What was your cartoon?
This is Friday,
The
right?
Shocking cartoon. Yes. Which
My
one?
cartoon, really?
The Boondocks.
No, I hate that Boondocks.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm
they
shocked.
sometimes-
Maybe you just don't like animation.
No, I love animation.
He like anime.
Fred Flintstone?
No,
That ain't
I
trying to go
Flintstones
way
in there.
back.
No, I'm a
Betty
Bugs
Boop.
Bunny addict.
Me
I'm
too.
telling you, I
I
love
agree.
Bugs.
I agree.
The satire
Okay.
of Bugs and the black and white Popeyes. When
Mhm.
you hear him mumble under their breath.
No,
That's
they're
the
cursing
insults.
under their breath. They show what they sailors. That's what they doing. Hey, Popeye. And then they roll into a town and they both trying to get with the same skinny.
Nah, that's the only thing about it.
Come on, that's a Navy town.
That's straight Navy town, right?
It's a lot of stuff in cartoons, man. A lot of
That's
subliminal,
especially the older cartoons,
Yes.
was more, written for more adults.
Like, do you know what Casper was about?
No.
Oh, seriously?
No.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
No.
What?
I'm a friendly ghost.
Oh, yeah.
And then he kept being abused by the three older uncles.
That is true.
See?
I agree with that. I haven't even thought about that until
They was
I
like, get away from me.
I'm still lost.
Me too. I'm sitting there like, you try to make everything about that? I'm not signing them papers. Put me in jail too then.
I'm just saying.
Wow. Paul Rogers says, my brother called himself running away from home, and my dad beat both of us.
You think about running and beat you. No, his dad beat y'all, you and your brother?
Yeah, not mine. Well, I don't know.
Your cousin, right?
Who said that now?
His Paul Rogers is my cousin.
Okay.
And that makes sense. Because my cousins and everybody in my family beat each other.
Apparently.
Apparently.
And just anybody that's standing around get beat.
Right.
I mean, what's that about?
Oh, I'm finna get a whooping.
Run! The mailman ring the doorbell.
Run!
Hey, Walt, do you remember when we went down south? I probably to a revival. or
Missouri?
something. I think so. Somewhere. Jacksonville, Mississippi, I think.
Jacksonville?
Yes.
Oh, you mean Jackson, Mississippi?
Something like that.
Because your relative lives in Carruthersville.
Right,
Mhm,
exactly.
mhm.
But we went down south, and it was about 2 or 3 cars of us, right? And then we were coming back. We stopped at a restaurant. We all got in the car and took off, and there was a car behind us blowing its horn because we left the wing.
You was a part of that?
Yeah, I was in there.
Oh, we tease him to this day about that.
What?
We left my brother Dwayne behind at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Well, my mom had, at that time, 7...
Home
maybe,
Alone.
Yeah.
Counting the neighbors.
Absolutely.
Boys at home.
It was about
so
8
she
of us
thought
then.
you were doing.
In Mississippi, though?
Oh, yeah, man. We went to... You
How
know
far
that,
did y'all
remember
get
that
before
restaurant
y'all
where they
realized it?
throw those biscuits?
Yeah, they throw the biscuits right off 55.
Yeah. Well, we ate, and then we all got, and we left, gone.
Yeah.
And he's still in the restaurant.
He was watching the biscuits
And
fly.
we enjoying the ride
Yeah.
to where we were going.
How far did y'all go? Yeah.
I don't remember,
ways,
but we
man.
were gone, and some white man or woman, I can't remember who it was,
I can't remember.
pulled up behind us honking the horn.
Blowing that horn.
And we was like, what's going on? Is
Right.
this a racial,
Mississippi burning,
This straight
man. That's what I would've
KKK,
thought.
man.
Right,
What's going on?
exactly.
And they was like, you left something.
Now, what I want to know is, did he get beat?
Who? Oh, ah!
Who got the whooping that
Who
time?
got the woman that time? Probably the white woman said, why did you bringing this boy back? Who left him on purpose? We can't afford to feed the 6 we got.
Because it seems like your father really don't care.
Opportunity to beat.
I'm going to beat him.
That's what
It's whooping time.
Shut up, boy. You done something.
Good morning. Come here.
Right. Put some bass in your voice.
I got the whooping for that.
Yes, you did. Yes,
You got the whooping for that too?
Probably.
Right.
You know.
Just give me a key.
A month later, knock on my door. I left my son.
Don't see him now. What time is it? Ward.
Ward, right. Yep, that's what they got me. Hey, you got a book signing coming up.
Got a book signing Saturday, September 26th at the Palace Cafe, 8114 South Stony Island.
The Palace.
At 2 p.m. You can get you some waffles and chicken and a book. In fact, this is gonna be crazy. You've never heard this before. You can get the book and a meal deal for $20. And
Wow.
We got some performances. They're going to be some of my actor friends going to be acting out parts of the books and different things, doing monologues from the book instead of just me sitting there reading out the book, which is boring.
Wow.
They're gonna act it out. I'm gonna have a little fun with it. So.
I'm
You get an autographed copy.
I'm loving it. Yes, that's the good stuff. Hey, Britt, go to the. I got a file that we did with the Tremaine Hawkins series. Go to this file called The Wiz. It'll have a number 16 next to it, 16, and then it'll say The Wiz. My teacher took me to The Wiz in the 70s when they came out. I think it came out 78, 70, something around 75, 76, 78. Yeah,
Saw it 136 times.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
My friend worked at the theater. So.
Yeah. Okay. When you find Britt, play it because we old school. Me and Alvin, when we do our shows, we always go back. If you listen to some of our commercials, it's always old stuff. Did you watch The Wiz when it first came out, Ray?
I'm sure I did.
Yeah. At the movies.
Oh, at the movies. Yeah, my mom can't afford no movies.
Oh, yeah.
The drive-ins.
Yeah.
At the drive-in.
Remember the drive-in on Cicero? What was Bell?
Yeah, everybody.
Bel Air.
Bel Air.
Cicero and Costner.
It's one of
no. Actually, it was Cicero and Costner.
Mm-hmm.
31st somewhere now.
Somebody let the air out my tires there, and I never went back.
Never, really?
For real.
My battery went dead one day. I had a half date.
Okay, tell the truth. How many of y'all used to have to sit on the floor and hide?
No, in the trunk.
Oh, y'all got in the trunk?
Yeah, I got in the trunk. And then they pulled in, and then they paid the ticket, and then they had to pull to a wall, back up against the wall,
so you can get out.
So I can get out.
Then
trust me.
Then the vans came out.
The who?
The conversion vans.
Oh, the conversion vans.
Man,
yeah.
20 of us in the back sweating.
It's impossible to catch somebody in one of those rooms.
Yeah, you can't. It's impossible.
So many hiding places.
Man, my mother took me. Well, my father was living then, and she took us. This is back in the 70s to see The Exorcist.
Oh, Lord.
I was 10.
1974, Doc. I know.
Marked for life. You got beat by another man's father, and your mama taking you to see The Exorcist.
The Exorcist.
Wow.
Man.
Did you stutter after that? I mean, stammer.
It took me a long time to sleep in the dark, I'm going to tell you.
I know it did.
Wow.
A long time.
Well, watching Richard Pryor on Saturday Night Live scared me.
Oh, Saturday Night Live?
Your mother
oh my
is
God.
kitty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The bed is on the floor. The bed is on my face. On my foot. Woo. Yeah. Memories. Paul says the prettiest girls were at St. Paul Church of God in Christ. He's right. He's so right because we have what's called yard girls.
Are they still there?
No. They all well try showing up at St. Paul on a Sunday morning today. You gonna hear a lot of hymns.
Tumbleweed.
What's the average age? 100.
What, right? I ain't saying nothing because they might be listening.
Oh no, I'm kidding.
I ain't saying nothing because wanna be read. Y'all don't know about this stuff here. This is some of Quincy Jones's greatest work on this project here, The Wiz, which was a Motown production. And this scene right here was at the Emerald City was actually the Twin Towers. If you look at the movie again, that's the Twin Towers behind them, and they're in what is it called? You New Yorkers will help me out. I forget what it's called. Manhattan. It's in Manhattan.
Courtyard, kind of like
it's Courtyard right there.
Yeah. Not by Marriott.
No, not by Marriott. No. Remember Marriott Great America?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Marriott's Great America.
Marriott Great America.
Now it's
was it Six Flags?
Six Flags.
Yeah. Now the original Six Flags I think was St. Louis.
St. Louis, yeah.
What was that place?
And for years I thought it was only one. It's like
we did
107.
It's a million of them.
What was that place that has like a dome over it, but it's a
Great
Chicago.
Old
Chicago.
Is
that place still around?
Oh
no.
my God!
How long you been gone, man?
He been gone a long time.
You've been gone a long time, Doc.
Man, the roller coaster fell. People fell out the roller coaster. It was the first time they had the upside down roller coaster, and people fell out.
Really?
Shut down.
Like a box of
because it was a amusement park and a mall.
That's right.
Shopping mall. Let your kids go kill themselves while you go shop.
Hey, we need to.
But you know who adopted that?
Who's that?
Vegas.
Vegas.
So you got the Adventure Dome behind Circus.
Let's bring them up to speed. Santa's Village is closed.
Santa's Village, yeah.
And Adventureland is gone.
Funtown
is gone.
I'm sorry.
Lands.
Kittyland is gone.
Kittyland is gone.
Brittany's doing a dance. I gotta get out of here. Man, California, Los Angeles, California.
Yep.
Man, it's so good to see you, brother. I went to Tahoe, Lake Tahoe the other day and froze my butt off at night and burnt up in the morning. Y'all got crazy weather down there. But I'm glad you're here to visit us. You're going back tomorrow. We'll be praying
you
for
got crazy parents.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, got to go. Daryl, y'all go to Amazon, check the book out. I, the Son. Great book. Rewind this show here. Go to Spreaker.com. It's going to be
inspired. I'm writing a book next.
Yeah, that is, man. He inspired us all.
I, the SOB.
Yeah, right. All right, y'all. Got to go. The choice is gold. Sir Walter Jones Show.
You've been listening to the Sir Walter Jones Radio Show, where he provides you with a biblical perspective for your everyday life. Stay connected to Sir Walter Jones by visiting him online at www.sirwalterjones.com or on Facebook at www.facebook.com/AskTheElder. Stay tuned until next time with the Sir Walter Jones Show with Sir Walter Jones.